Hi, this video is called Online Marketing Basics, the Aida Model from the Online Growth Ladder. So the world of online marketing is really confusing. There's so many different strategies and so much conflicting information. And so it's really hard to sort of get to the bottom of what is the strategy that's going to work for you. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the AIDA model, the Aida model. And then in a moment, I'm going to talk about how we can use this model to really help us define what our online marketing strategy should be. So what is the best online marketing strategy then? Or is it Facebook ads, or is it Google ads, or is it blogging, or is it messaging on Twitter, or is it LinkedIn? Is it search engine optimization? Is it content marketing? Do I need a sales funnel, or do I need click funnels? I mean, it's all so much information and so many different strategies to sort of get your head around when you're first learning online marketing. So it's really confusing, and you know, I certainly struggled with this when I was starting out. So it's really hard to understand, you know, which of those strategies is going to work for you in your new online marketing world that you're trying to get to grips with. And there isn't one clear answer. It really does depend on where you're at, how mature your organization is in terms of marketing, how much experience you've got, what you're already doing in terms of marketing, how big your business is, whether it's a mature business, whether it's a brand new business, where you're trying to grow an online business, whether it's an offline business. You know, how much budget do you have as well? So, you know, and fundamentally, what are you actually trying to achieve with your online marketing? So these are all like big questions. So there isn't really a hard and fast answer. You know, there is no one best strategy. It's all about tailoring the strategy to whatever your business need is at a particular moment in time. So what I thought we'd do is we'd go back to basics and use a sort of really well-known model in marketing called the AIDA model, which is AIDA. And it's modeling the customer journey, basically. And the A stands for attention. So in this phase, and it's essentially a funnel that we're working with here, which you can see in the picture to the right. So the first letter is A, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to draw attention. We're trying to create awareness of our brand or our product or our service, and quite often we do that with advertising. And the I stands for interest. So we're trying to generate interest. We're trying to generate consumer interest in learning the benefits of what our product or service will provide, how it's going to solve the problems of the consumer, and it's some of the you know, what are the services that are offered. We're really trying to engage with the user in this phase. The D stands for desire. So in this phase, we're really trying to build the desire, the wants and the needs for the product or service. And then finally, in the action phase of the funnel, we're really trying to get the consumer to take action. That's either to buy something or to trial a product, or we're really trying to make them take action, basically. And what I thought would be useful to do is to show how AIDA can work in practice. So I've got an example here of actually it's one of my favourite local pubs. So I live in Brighton on the south coast of England, and this is a pub in the back streets of Hove, where I live. And these guys are actually really good at following the AIDA model. I'm sure they've never even heard of the model, but they seem to be pretty good at it. And they do a lot of promotion on Facebook. And what they're trying to do, obviously, is they're trying to get people to come into their pub. So their objective is to get people to book a table and visit the pub. And what they're trying to do is they're really selling, trying to get people's attention on Facebook so people follow. They're building up a set of loyal customers. They're trying to get people, invite them into the pub to try out the drinks and try out the really nice food, to watch sports with your friends. And it's a really nice cozy atmosphere. There's a log fire, all that sort of stuff. And it's a really friendly pub with the staff are really friendly, and you'll see that they use their pub cat Tesla to sort of really create this attention and this interest and this desire, to get you into the pub in the first place. I thought it'd be fun to use my local pub as an example of how to use the Aida model, basically. So, and we'll just scroll through some of their posts here. So there it is. It's in the back streets of Hove. It's a sort of suburb of Brighton. So it's, it hasn't got much passing traffic. So the only way that they can get business is by building a loyal set of customers to come to the pub. So they've got a nice picture on Facebook here, and they show a lot of sports in the pub. So it's one of the sort of key reasons why people go to the pub. So they're sort of advertising here. I mean, well, they're just posting on Facebook here what games are on. So there's a game on tomorrow night. It's on tonight. Then they're talking about a cake that they've got in the pub, and they're saying that they're open for lunch all the way through, from lunch all the way through. They're serving coffee and cake, so it's not just beer. Talking about the food here. They're talking about the event, all of the different games that are on over the next week or so. They're giving information here about these new heated booths they've got in the garden, and they're open till 9 o'clock. They're talking about the food here. Again, it's a nice cosy pub, so they've got some pictures of the pub here. Again, more of the schedule of what's on in TV sports, etc., etc. So you can see, and here's the cat, here's Tesla. So, there's sort of interest and a desire, and they're creating this whole desire around the pub, and they're making you want to go to the pub. And I think later on, of course, this is just a lovely, cosy pub. The food, obviously, is a draw. That's a big Sunday roast. We've got a little video here. Let's have a look at the video. You've got the video here with a nice fire in the background into the pub. So you you get this sort of general idea about what we're trying to do, how this sort of fits in with the Aida model in terms of attention, interest, desire, and the action, the goal that we're trying to get people to do. They're trying to get people to do is to come into the pub and spend time in the pub, buy food, buy drinks, etc., etc. So the Aida model has been around for a long time, way before the internet was invented in actual fact. So it's a well-trodden path for marketing, and it certainly applies to online marketing as well. And the way to manage it, and when I first heard about this, or rediscovered it, if you like, it was a bit of a light bulb moment for me, actually. I thought, oh right, okay, so now it all sort of starts to fall into place. And if you think about how you're going to use your online marketing, your marketing, how you're going to get your customers from A to B, how you're going to get their attention in the first place, make people aware of your product, and get them to, call them to an action to either buy or come into your shop or whatever it is that the action is that you're trying to achieve. Then as soon as you start to think about that process and then draw it out, you map it out, the first thing is to start with the goals. Then you draw out the process. One of the ways I do it actually quite often is I use Post-its, or I draw it out on a whiteboard. And you really need to sit down and map out what you see as the process, the process of getting your potential customers from A to B, basically. And the trick is to start simple, and then bring in the tools, the online marketing tools, later on, once you've got the process written down on paper. Okay, so once you've mapped out your process, your process in sort of high level terms, in terms of what you're trying to achieve, the goals, etc., then you can start to look at the tools that are available to you to start using. So, clearly you've got things like Facebook, and you've got YouTube and advertising of various sorts. And of course, Facebook and YouTube, they can work to different parts of the Aida model. So certainly you could use Facebook to raise attention and interest and desire. You can even, of course, use it for a call to action as well. And it's exactly the same with YouTube. So you can use it right across the Aida model. So sometimes you might use it for raising attention or awareness of a product or a service. Sometimes you might use it to interest us, explaining how your product solves problems. You might create desire with YouTube. Video is great for that, of course. And then, of course, you can use it for a call to action as well. And you can use advertising in both of these methods as well. So you can see it's really powerful. As soon as you start to understand the model, it's a very simple model. This, in terms of you're taking your potential customer from A to B, then you can see how powerful this model is. You could also use YouTube and Facebook for creating an email list as well, building an email list. So you would typically create a set of a lead magnet of some sort, which is a free tool or a PDF or a template or basically anything free, some free stuff, something that people need or that they want, and then in return they basically will give you your email address. And it's a really fast and efficient way of building up a set of customers and taking it away from sort of YouTube and Facebook so that you're in control of your customer list. So you can see that the Aida model is a really powerful model. As I said, it's been around for many years. But the difference in the online world is, of course, that it can create really high volumes of leads. You can really get into qualifying them as well. So you can really qualify out people by putting them through certain steps in a process. And also you can really create an ongoing relationship with them as well. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I do lots of content for small businesses on online marketing and sharing some of my experiences, my learnings and my challenges and my successes and some of my failures as well. It'd be great if you could subscribe. I'd love to hear your comments to say how you're getting on. Tell me how you're getting on with the Aida model, and I'll see you in the next video.